Christ on a bike, Neil. What am I going to say about this?
Well, I was hoping you'd like it, but it doesn't sound like... Is something wrong?
Something's wrong, yeah.
Too many clothes? Too few clothes, perhaps?
Shall I put you out of your misery, yeah?
Please.
Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. That'll involve me performing a very, very late abortion. Don't laugh, Neil. This is not banter. This is me bollocking you. Can you not read people, Neil?
No. Yes, I can.
No, you can't. Otherwise, you'd stop talking. What else can't you read, Neil? You can't read the fucking name of the fucking shop. It's white on white. In other words, it's shite on shite. That is page 1 of the manual, isn't it? In fact, it's front cover of the fucking book. Name recognition.
Yeah.
See, if you don't sort this out, Neil, the writing is on the wall for you. Except it won't be white on white, it'll be red on brown. Do you know what those colours are for, Neil?
Is it blood and poo?
Yeah, correct. Well done. There's hope for you yet, Neil. This is positive reinforcement. This is me motivating you.
You and Michael have worked together a fair few times over the years. Yeah. When did he tell you about this?
Well, I don't think he did tell me about this movie. Michael Winterbottom said he was doing it with someone else. Well, I think it was Sacha Baron Cohen. And that didn't work out for one reason or another. You know, sometimes people are attached to things and then they're not attached anymore. And that was one of those times. And so I heard there was a vacancy. So I was doing. Obviously, I know Michael very well. I did 6 movies before Greed. And so I called him up and said, you know, I'll do it if you like. And he sort of called me back and said, okay. But most of the time, Michael comes to me and we talk about something, we do it. But this was a kind of a slightly odd one because it was like nearly halfway done before I jumped in.
What was it that you were kind of keen to get involved with?
Well, I like the subject matter. I love the idea of this. Well, first of all, you know, there's the glamour of the super rich and that kind of world, which is nice to look at. We all look at it. We all want to be part of it. People got super yachts. Everyone thinks, oh, wouldn't it be amazing to have a super yacht and all that stuff? So we enjoy and revel in all that stuff. And then what we do is look under the carpet and see how these people acquire their wealth, or many of these people acquire their wealth. And oftentimes, especially with high street retail, they become super rich because other people being super poor. And we just wanted to make that connection, which some people are aware of, most people don't want to talk about, and we just decided we can talk about it in this movie and do it in an entertaining way, and just shine a light on it. Yeah.
When did you first come up with the idea for the film? Has it been gestating for a long time?
It feels like it happened quite quickly, but I think it's probably like 4 or 5 years ago. It was really around the time when Philip Green was doing his select committee stuff. So I must have known about 4 or 5 years, and you know, it sort of. The idea was like he could be, you know, a character, you know, someone like him, someone who's very hands-on, someone who's very kind of flamboyant, someone who's very famous, you know, could be quite a good starting point to look at retail fashion in general. So the film is a kind of satire, but it's a satire on the system, a satire on the way in which the market works and the way in which there is this kind of grotesque inequality of wealth between the owners of retail brands, you know, the big brands like Zara, H&M or Topshop, and the women who actually make the clothes for them. You know, it's not really about the individual. You know, I hope when people watch the film, it's about the system should change rather than like one individual should go.
How was kind of doing the research for that? And was it a reasonably harrowing experience?
No, not harrowing. I mean, a lot of it, you know, because obviously half the film is like revolves around the kind of him trying to throw this big lavish party to rescue his reputation, get all his celebrity friends to come along to make him look good. So that side, that research was fine, and then then we flashed back through his career. So there was a book called Top Man, which looked at particularly Philip Green's career, but then obviously just looking at the way retail fashion works in general, and then then the other aspect of it was in terms of say the women who work at making those clothes. We picked Sri Lanka partly because that is one of the countries that makes a lot of stuff for international brands, where the wages are a bit higher and the conditions are a bit better. So we wanted to pick not like the worst example, find the worst place, or people trying to bend the rules or break the rules. We're trying to find okay, this is kind of sense a good example. This is how the system wants it to be. This is how we all kind of agree that this is right, and what that means is with those women that are getting paid £4 a day, and the women we were filming with were living in a hostel without any running water. And that's what we've all agreed is like that's fine.
Obviously, there are a fair few real-life meat retail moguls who there are to look at. How many of them did you kind of take in for the character?
Well, there are a bunch of them, and we sort of wanted to direct our ire or fire at the whole phenomena rather than it being some sort of personal attack on individuals. But Philip Green was sort of an obvious candidate to satire because he's larger-than-life character. If anything, we owe him a debt of gratitude for elevating the subject of these high street moguls by having such an overt, high-profile existence. There's a guy called Richard Caring who has incredibly white teeth, and so I borrowed the white teeth idea from him. And I mean, there are plenty of big companies that the Zara's, the Next, H&M, Topshop. There are plenty of these big companies that quite legally, employ people on these very sort of low wages, and all we want to do is just shine a light and tell and demonstrate that actually you could improve the living conditions of these people, many of whom don't have running water, and show that without, in actual fact, making much of a dent in the huge profits that these companies make.
Is this an investigation into my tax affairs? I pay what I have to and no more, because I'm not stupid. If you want to chase people avoiding tax, why don't you go after the big boys? I mean, look at Apple, look at Amazon, Starbucks. Why are you chasing me?
Right, yes, it's not them.
I suggest you Google it, Mr. Chairman. It's another company. How much tax do you think Google pay? Not very much. If you don't believe me, talk to Bono. He's avoided hundreds of millions of tax by claiming that you two are based in Holland. It doesn't stop him going around the world in your nan's sunglasses proclaiming about ending poverty or whatever.
Obviously, he's such a larger-than-life character. How did you kind of decide you were going to humanise him? Because it'd be very easy for him to just be a straightforward villain with very few redeeming qualities.
Yeah, I think it's. I think the idea was like not that you'd sort of like him, like humanise him and sort of making him sort of necessarily a good person or a sympathetic person, but for him to be enjoyable. Really, that was the idea. Is that there'd be a kind of energy to the film. I think Rich McCreadie, the main character, has this kind of energy. That expresses itself on him like shouting or kind of being rude or kind of wanting as much money as possible. But it is a kind of energy that makes him quite dynamic. And the idea is that Steve would be enjoyable and it'd be quite funny to watch. But that ultimately, although it is funny to see all that happen, it's funny to look at the party. I'm sure when you go to the kind of lavish parties, they're enjoyable. That world can be kind of like quite shiny and attractive. But when you're forced to then think about where the money comes from that funds it, that you kind of still feel a bit like, that something should change.
First of all, you've got to entertain people and not just give them a lecture, because that's boring. Richard McCreadie, the character I play, similar to Philip Green, is charismatic and funny and entertaining, and that's something that people want to see, and it sugars the pill of anything you. And also, there is some qualities that the audience can sympathise with. Despite his modest background, he was very successful. Rich McCreadie's battled against the odds to build this empire, and he's entertaining. And also he has a very touching relationship with his ex-wife. So there's some vulnerability, not much, but you have to entertain people to get them to listen.
This is your young man,
Yes,
huh?
this is Francois.
Very happy to meet you.
The pleasure's all mine, Francois.
No, it's François. Otherwise, I would be a girl.
Get it right, Mum.
Where are the children?
Finn sleeps all day, he's pale, he looks like a vampire. And Lily was here, but she's gone off with a reality TV show.
Oh, what's all that about? Why would you want your life splashed all over the telly, Francois?
Beats me.
Well, I think it's pretty good for her, actually. It gives her something to do and it keeps her grounded.
Keeps her grounded.
Yeah. If you look at the Kardashians, Kylie Jenner's got over 1 billion Instagram followers. She's on the cover of Forbes.
Well, then she must be a very good person, very successful.
She's richer than you, sweetie. And she's
That's
worked
not
a
true, is
lot.
it?
Yes, it is. It's actually
That
true.
can't be true.
She's richer than you.
Fantastic supporting cast as well. How was it working with Isla and Shirley Henderson and people like that?
Well, Shirley Henderson and Isla are, Isla's a formidable, wonderful, dynamic woman, and Shirley is the consummate actor who I've worked with before. David Mitchell, made me laugh. I think he's way funnier than me in the movie, and So yeah, I was, when you're elevated by the people around you, and Michael managed to attract people who are all at the top of their game.
Yeah, it was really good like that. I mean, I think, partly because people like the idea of working with Steve, but partly also because, they like the idea of doing something which kind of tries to engage with, inequality and sort of fairness. And so we were lucky. We had an amazing cast. So it's a really big cast. But we have Sarah Soleimani, Tim Keyes, Asim Chowdhury. David Mitchell was fantastic. So Ali Fisher. So it was great. And everyone did it because they wanted to rather than for money. It was quite a low budget film.
And what's it like wrangling a lion?
That bit wasn't too bad, but with a large cast of actors, it's quite tricky sometimes to get them all in the right place at the right time.
Yeah. And the lion?
The lion was fine. Because the lion is a figment of our imagination.
Oh, okay. So you never experimented with getting a real one in?
No, we did a film with Steve before where we had a real lion and we filmed the real lion and then had to marry the real lion in with the action. But it's kind of these days it seems easier just to do it without. It's still complicated, but it's not as complicated as a real lion.
I want noise. I'm in the business of loud.
Why have you got the lion?
We're recreating Gladiator.
That's fuchsia.
Yeah, fuchsia.
Fuchsia's a bit in your face. That's.
I want in your face. I am in your face.